Alright, this is a second generation BMW X1. They started, it came out as a 2016 year, and obviously gonna be available for sale for some time. It is about 175 inches long, about 3,500 pounds weight wise, and the ground clearance is about 7.2 or so inches, which is okay. It's a 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, making 228 horsepower and 240 torque. And even though the number, let's say 228, is not that high, there's some higher competition out there, right? But it feels like it's higher than that. The car handles good, very good, and it feels snappy. And of course we get our 8-speed automatic transmission. We got a big grille in the front, dual exhaust. It unlocks and locks very quickly. Close. So it's locked, unlocked. And the way the door slams. And you can see that at night the exterior LEDs are very bright when you open the door. This model comes with sport seats, and I highly recommend it. It is an option when, let's say, you're building your vehicle. Well, if you're shopping around, I would highly suggest get the sport seats. Don't get the seats that come with the car by default. They're not as accommodating. Plus the car has a sport tune suspension, so the regular seats you'll be sliding back and forth when you're doing turns. Get the sport seats. I would say it's a must. It's a must to get the sport seats. They come with extension thigh support, very good bolstering, and the bolstering is also adjustable, power adjustable bolstering. Very important. Sport seats is a must, and they're not firm, by the way. They're soft enough. Yeah. One negative thing about the seats in general in BMW X1, it's not perforated, and obviously it's not vented, so you'll be using AC a lot in the summer. Alright, in the front it feels spacious. You get plenty of headroom. You also good you have good shoulder room as well. So it definitely feels roomy, and it feels roomier than the X1 as well. Very good space. The front view, as you can see, is really good visibility. There is a package available with the head-up display. I would say it's very convenient, as it shows you the speed limit, shows you your speed, and when you're using navigation it will show you arrows or where to go. Very convenient feature. Steering wheel, there's two choices. The regular steering wheel that you get, and it's fine, but I do recommend the M package steering wheel, and you gotta get the M package for that, unfortunately. I love that wheel. I think that wheel should stay with BMWs for a long time, but I think it's changing anyway. Definitely a must, but for that you gotta get the M Sport package. But I would, just for the wheel, just for the steering wheel. Very good looking steering wheel. But this one is fine. If you're going for the stock steering wheel, it's fine. It has all the controls that you need. And BMW X1 comes with analog speedometer and a little digital display here for other information. And alright, armrest is pretty good. It's adjustable. You can go low, you can go high, higher, and so on. There's also some space here for whatever you need, and there's some room here for extra things, and one USB port. In the middle console we got the multimedia control knob, electric power brake. You have your shifter, which is very tall. I would definitely like to see their usual, which is much lower than this, but it is what it is. And driving dynamics mode. If you get the the M package, you can actually get the adjustable shocks that way, and when you switch that, your adjustable shocks will initiate as well. And I would say that's really good that BMW X1 is doing that, because X1 is an entry SAV or crossover, and to have that kind of option on entry, that is really good, because you can get that sport package, and you can decrease the jitteriness of the sport suspension with those adaptable shocks. This way, having that feature and enabling it when you need it, and disabling it or going for the more comfortable ride when you don't need it, which is probably most of the time. Two cup holders, which are, I found them to be inconveniently placed, because I mean, it's not all the time that it's very convenient to put a cup of hot tea in there and then get it out, get it in. But it is here. It's definitely better than the first generation BMW. But it's good. It's good that it's there. There's also a little compartment right behind there. You see? And there's a 12-volt socket in there. Here's our climate controls. Very convenient, of course. You can sync it, and you can adjust the temperature separately for both sides. Here's our CD changer, and of course the multimedia screen. There are two choices of multimedia. This is the smaller one, and they also offer a wider one, which is about this wider. So definitely prefer the wider one, but this one works as well. The materials in the car are soft in general, as would be expected. It is also soft here. It's like kind of a handle here. This is soft, and of course this is plastic here, but this is still soft. So it's a nice touch. Soft, hard. This is actually soft. This is a soft piece. Of course, this is plastic. Very nice. And you got several trim choices like brushed aluminum and, let's say, wood grain. Now, the optional speakers. I would suggest them if the sound is important to you. And also, it looks much more appealing, because when you get the Harman Kardon, this speaker would actually have a transparent mesh. You can see inside the actual speaker, and you'll get an additional speaker here for your high-pitched tones. And there's a speaker in the middle. And this is how interior LED lighting looks like. You can change between orange and white color, and it looks very nice for an entry crossover. In the rear seats, it's comfortable. The seats are more straight, so you're not like laying back, and there's plenty of headroom. I would say there's good headroom space, and this is with the roof. As an option, you actually can get sliding and reclining rear seats. Of course, there are some limitations, but you do get that option, and I would say if you get rear passengers in the rear seat from time to time, definitely a must. There's two vents for the rear passengers, and this was definitely not even an option for the first generation X1, so it's really good to see it here. With the stock sound system, you get one speaker, but when you get the Harman Kardon optional, you actually get two speakers, so this one and and an extra tweeter, and there will be a transparent mesh. Well, you can see through the mesh with the Harman Kardon, and it's also gonna have a very appealing look. And just look at the size of this panorama sunroof. It's actually right on top of your head. It is humongous panorama sunroof. It does have a divider, and when you open the sunroof, this whole portion goes on top of this, and it is a very large area here. One negative, well, two negatives of this roof is that it is tinted. So let's say when you're driving at night, for example, you won't have as much visibility. It's fine, but it's not that tinted, but there is a tint to it. And the other thing is that the cover that closes, it's not completely opaque. It doesn't completely block the sun. I'm not sure how much the sun does come through, but as you can see my hand, shadow here, shadow here. So some sun does hit my hand, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna get a sunburn, but well, the glass is also tinted, but it is still a factor. We do get a power lift gate, which is very convenient, as you can see right here. A very spacious trunk, I would say about 27 cubic feet. Side space here and here. There's an interesting compartment here. Now you get some hooks. I don't see any seat releases. When the second row seats are down, you get about 60 cubic feet of space. And this is how you put the seats down from the second row. You gotta pull and it falls down. We do get Apple CarPlay. Wireless cell phone charging is an option. Partial automatic braking, automatic cruise control, and lane departure warning. So there are some good features which make it a much more pleasurable driving experience. On the road, you get very good sound insulation in terms of suspension and just how the wheels transmit the noise. However, wind noise, you do get a good amount of sound seeping through the windows. That's how it feels, unfortunately. Now this second generation X1 is built on the Mini Cooper Countryman frame, so you definitely feel that agility and nimble. The car is more agile. So this was actually a pretty sharp corner at a higher speed, and just the handling, how it grips the road, is on another level. A lot of other cars would tilt, they would squeal, and X1 just handles good, stays even, good grip. Definitely a fun vehicle to drive all around, just a daily driver. Now I don't have the head-up display, and I'm using the display navigation, and of course it feels a bit distracting just to keep an eye on where you're going through the screen, and that is why the head-up display is very useful, as you don't have to keep your eyes off the road. You're still looking in the direction of the road, and I would say that's a big plus to have that option. Of course it costs, you have to get an extra package, but it's good to know that an entry crossover from BMW has that option. I think, like I said, package overall, when you load it with features that you need, just makes the driving experience that much more safer, enjoyable, and the experience at the end of the day is, well, let's just say you get used to it pretty quick and you don't want to use anything else. Alright guys, I know plenty of you enjoyed this, got some useful information, make some wise decisions.